result.grade pass. And the way I knew how to type that is just because this is there. I am smart. But we haven't included what pass is. It actually comes from the training API from within the framework rather than the training framework. So it comes from RLBot. So this thing, if I go to my example in Rocket League training, it imports it from RLBot rather than RLBotTraining. Oops, pasted it to the wrong file. Way to pass and fail. Session error. So. Aha, this is the one where patience was required. So, patience required because you're too far away. And we want patience required. No patience. So we want to make sure that we fail this one and pass this one. So you can definitely make these things more dense. What I've done in my common tests, I've made asserts grade function, but you can structure your tests however you like. Yeah, I'll just check these. So something I want to do, and that is run this to check whether it has any problems. So this is gonna run these exercises one at a time, which may or may not be what you want, but this is kind of easy for me to demonstrate. And both of those failed. So you can see the fail, no patience required, failed, and it said that our failure is not an instance of pass. So we wanted this to pass, but it failed. And that is because we never specified our car start x equals, what is it, 3000? No, it was a different number, right? Car start x negative 1000. Boop. So this is the one that should pass because it needs to travel longer distance. Yay. And that one didn't have patience. So yeah. So now we tested that the SimpleBot failed at one class and passed at another. And that's kind of cool, I think. Oh, welcome back. So I've shown you how to do unit tests, but I also want to show you how to write your own custom pass and failure conditions. So I'm going to make a new one of these and call it drives to all exercise, and we want to make a new grader. I'm going to put the new grader in a new file. My drive to all grader. You could organize this in a similar structure to how I have exercises and graders, but that's totally up to you. When starting out, you probably have just a small amount of things, so it's fine to keep them in one training directory. So class, this thing is a grader. I'm gonna take inspiration from how the striker grader works, but rather than striking, we just want to make sure that our bot gets within a certain distance of the ball. We already have a ball touch common grader. So within RLBot there's common exercises, common graders. The goal grader has a striker grader, which is probably what you want. There's also a goalie grader, which just makes sure that no goal is scored and that's a pass. Just as a quick note, the striker grader has some parameters for timeout, because if you never return a fail, then the exercise is going to run on indefinitely, and you kind of don't want that. You want it to fail at some point, even if it's like 5-minute match length. So this striker grader is actually a compound grader, which has a grader that fails on timeout and a grader that passes on when there's a goal for the correct team. And there's the code that does. So we want a compound grader that checks whether we go to the ball and that we do it in a certain amount of time. You are a compound grader. So compound grader, I kind of find this pattern nice, where you always have one of things, but then this one thing might split out, which is nicer than passing a list of graders, because you can just handle it by having a grader which does that fan out for you. I find that a nicer design pattern. So what this compound grader does is it forwards the on tick to everything, and it forwards the render to everything, and then aggregates the results. Drive the ball exercise, brain fart. So back in striker grader, all we want to do is pass and go for. Just going to go to the definition of a grader. So grader can do on-tick and render. On-tick is where the kind of meat of your stuff is. This is kind of for debugging purposes, which is quite nice. If you want to figure out if you want to kind of paint a target of where the bot's trying to go, then that should definitely go in here. Optional grade, so that means each tick you say the exercise passed, or the exercise failed, or you return none, which is the optional part. So if you return none, then you continue. Like this pass thing is not a grade. This is like a Python keyword, just say do nothing, and by default that's equivalent to return none. So class pass on near ball, you are grader, and we want to on-tick. I'm going to keep the type annotations, even if it requires me to do a few more imports. So this training tick packet contains a game tick packet, which is what we want to process. Just to confirm that, if we go to training tick packet.py, it'll tell you what's in it. We might add some more pre-processing in the future, just so it makes it more convenient to do multiple purposes. Check that. We do car is cars of physics. Game take packet dot game cars 0 dot physics. Actually, before I go writing that, I'm gonna return none. Just to get this stuff bootstrapped before I start writing all the code blind. This is probably what you're gonna experience. So we wanna pass on nearBall and compound that with fail and timeout. We don't care about li team. So that just gets passed through. And we want to do our imports. So import compound grader, blah, copy you here through this thing. We want the import for fail and timeout here. Then we want to import grader. Boop. So we have a compound grader, and grader we need optional, we need grade from typing import optional, and then import grade. So typing is a nice module, by the way. We want to import the grade. What else? We need to import the training take packet. Import training take packet. So and now we want to make an exercise that uses this grader. So we have a drive to ball grader, which is a pass on near ball with a training exercise, and this drives to ball exercise. I'm gonna remove this junk. And so just remember that the training exercise has these properties. One of these properties is the grader, and we're gonna do something similar, that we're gonna give it a default value such that it uses our own custom grader. So fun data class stuff. So our grader is a field where the default factory is the drives to ball grader. Okay, I didn't put a grader at the end here. And this drives to ball grader comes from drive to ball grader import drives to ball. We could let's rename this consistently. So we want this one and this one. Let's call it drive to ball grader, just so we have a little bit of consistency. Drive to ball grader.